Nigeria. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Ifako. Welcome to Newspaper Review on Ifako Radio, where we bring you the headline news from here to the world. And I remain my humble self, Nando Esther. With me here is...
Good morning, everyone. I'm Olanireti, Olusegun.
Okay, so today we're looking at some headlines. Firstly, on Vanguard paper, we have Naira appreciates to 1,516 Naira per dollar in parallel markets. The Naira yesterday appreciated to 1,560 per dollar in the parallel market from 1,565 per dollar on Monday. But the Naira depreciated to 1,530.5 per dollar in the Naira Foreign Exchange Market, NFEM. Data published by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, showed that the exchange rate for the Naira rose to 1,530.5 per dollar from 1,529.5 per dollar on Monday, indicating 1 Naira depreciation for the Naira. Consequently, the margin between the parallel market and NFEM rates narrowed to 29.5 per dollar from 35.5 per dollar the previous day. I believe if Naira is able to appreciate, it's really going to help our economy.
Yeah, definitely. The issue of depreciation should not be an issue for now. And I believe the CBN, they have people that are very vast in studying whatever it requires to ensure that we regain our place back as the value for Naira is concerned. Because most of the things that we use in this country at the moment are imported. Yes, the government is saying we should look inward and produce internally, but we still have to put so many things in place. But for those that are imported, they need support one way or the other. The government just have to do everything possible to ensure that we stabilize the fluctuation of Naira every now and then to dollar, which is not encouraging. And I hope they get a permanent solution.
We hope so. So it will at least ease the stress and the workload of most people.
Sure. Okay. Yes, I'm with the Nation newspaper, and the headline says aviation experts knock splash of cash by states on unviable airports. Aviation experts knock splash of cash by states on unviable airports. And I have two riders here that says 369.4 billion naira spent by 19 subnationals. The second rider says FAAN, FAN ND, only 3 airports profitable. Experts are criticized as unviable and unsustainable airports newly built or under construction in many states. According to them, the financial burdens of the projects and continuous maintenance are too heavy for the state government and FAN. At last count, over 369.4 billion naira has been sunk into such projects by 19 states. Most of the airports remain grossly underutilized, often recording nil flights for days and weeks, except for occasional chartered flights. Yes, I agree with aviation experts here. As a matter of fact, there is nothing wrong in we having airports in all the states, but are these things visible? The state government should prioritize whatever they are doing, the needs, basic needs of the people, instead of just embarking on a large elephant projects like that of the airport, that in some states they are not even using it. I don't want to mention states, for instance, but I know states that are not using it. I know 3 in recent past. What are the needs for the airports? Nothing. It is not a commercial area, and a situation whereby you have a close by state whose airport is very viable. Why can't we just apply wisdom? But a situation whereby we're wasting resources at the expense of basic amenities, at the expense of the yearnings of the people, it is a serious minus factor. And more so, the federal government needs to look at this. there should not be approval at all times. Well, whichever ministry is in charge should not give a go-ahead at all times, because most of the projects sincerely doesn't want it, and they are not needed at this point.
Yeah, the government should try because not all states deserve to have an airport.
Seriously, just like I said, I don't want to mention states. The governors are doing this just to enlarge their own pockets.
It's not supposed to be.
No.
Okay, on the Punch newspaper, I have Lautech, police working to unravel students' death off campus, registrar. Lautech, police working to unravel student death off campus. Authorities of the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology Wednesday said it would collaborate with the police to unravel the mystery surrounding the death of one of its students. The 300-level student of agricultural engineering of the institution, Ridwan Oladipupo, reportedly died on June 24 under mysterious circumstances off campus. A statement by the institution registrar, Mrs. Olayinka Balogun, made available to journalists in Ibadan. The authorities expressed sadness over the death of Oladipupo. She said that from the information available, the deceased left its off-campus hostel to go to an undisclosed location on June 24 and didn't return. On June 25, the acting dean student affairs received a call from the divisional police officer (DPO) of the Owode Division of Nigerian Police Force on the discovery of the corpse in front of Noruddin Grammar School under G Road of Bomosho. Efforts made by the police and the dean student affairs to ascertain whether the deceased was a Lautech student did not yield much, as neither students nor residents of the area could identify the body at that time. So this, I believe, this is Lautech here trying to uncover the death of one of their students.
Yes.
So the students left on June 24th, left the campus to
And they found the corpse.
the following morning. It's either maybe that student might have been involved in a fight with either cultists or one of those people around that could have made them kill him and dropped him in front of a primary school.
Initially, I thought it happened on the campus
Exactly.
when I had the headline. But nevertheless, when the police is ready, when they are willing to work, I know they've handled several cases like this. When they are willing to work, they will surely ensure that they do normal diligence and due diligence, pardon me, and get culprits punished for this. Because for the students, the parents will believe, yes, he's in school. And it is a bad thing for the students to hope that their hope upon their child will just be dashed overnight. No one can tell authoritatively for now that this is what has happened. But no doubt the circumstance around this particular one for somebody to live on a day and the next day is a corpse found dead, lying there on the streets. It is uncalled for. I just hope the police will do the needful. It is a duty now.
With 300 students for that matter, all efforts wasted and everything gone.
And I pray that may God rest his soul and comfort the deceased family. Moving on with the nation, I have the headline here that says the federal government opens talks with US over visa restriction. And the content says the federal government said yesterday it has begun a diplomatic engagement with the United States over its new visa policy for Nigerians. The revised visa policy announced by the U.S. State Department on Tuesday limits Nigerian non-immigrant visas to a 3-month single entry. Before now, a regular Nigerian visitor to the U.S. was granted up to a 5-year visa, depending on eligibility. Yes, I know that for sure, that if you have been to the U.S., maybe on 2 occasions, and you reapply, there's tendency you get about 5 years visa. But now, reverse is the case. I won't blame the U.S. government. They just want to get things right. Most importantly, most especially when Donald Trump has home office, he has his own policy. And that is the reason why our government also needed to get things right here. It is not everybody that should travel abroad. When things are in perfect order here, Nigerians will not be rushing out there. A lot of people are going for medical treatment. A lot are going for greener pasture.
Sure.
But if the grass is green here, are we going to be seeking greener pasture elsewhere? If the government is doing well here, nobody will rush out. We have all these basic amenities in place. Elsewise, we have professionals. But unfortunately, the government, the other day here, we're talking about the doctors that are wanting to go on strike. Are they not on strike already? And government just have to get things right. When you take care of those medical practitioners, also ensure that we have the best of gadgets, tools they can use to discharge their duties. And nobody will be looking at the US or wherever. As a matter of fact, there is no place like home for me. So I prefer to be the king of my country than to go and be serving a slave elsewhere. So all these bounce back on the government. We hope they stand upright for the benefits of Nigerians and renew as our own as they have promised.
I believe let me see, one of the reasons why they're also trying to rectify that though, because it will also affect them, since they're also Nigerians, to affect them, except if they're going on business.
Yeah, that is what the story says. Non-residential applicants. Yes, going on 3 months. Sometimes that means if you have 3 months and you go in January, definitely. For business, you should even be back on or before them.
Yes.
On or before them. But you have to reapply again. If you have your normal 5-year time, if you go January and you decided to come back the following week, you may decide to go November or the following year without applying for visa again. You already have your existing visa, and that is the implication here.
Okay, on the Punch newspaper, I have here Lagos local government poll. Police restricts movement from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olanireti, has announced a 12-hour restriction of movement on Saturday across the state for the local government election. He also ordered a massive deployment of personnel across the state. Jimo disclosed that in the statement signed by the command spokesman, CSP Benjamin Hudeyin in Lagos on Wednesday, he said the deployment was to ensure a hitch-free exercise. He added that elaborative security arrangements and comprehensive security measures have been put in place to ensure security, safety, and peaceful and orderly conduct of local government election. I believe that what the Lagos State Commissioner is doing is actually a very good thing. Restricting movement from 3 a.m. on Saturday morning to 3 p.m. So nobody goes to work, nobody goes anywhere. You know, everybody's come out to vote in their preferred candidates for the chairmanship and councillorship election. And that is actually a very, very good thing. At least those people, now I believe those the information should have gone around. Those churches that plan vigils will have to cancel their vigils. Most people that have pre-planned programs, they may be going out to the party or so, they will have to reschedule. Except maybe it's something they can walk. But everybody has to come out to vote. Restrictions have been placed. And I believe anyone that has been seen on the road should be arrested for defaulting the law.
Yeah, you see, it is a normal routine. All Nigerians are aware that when election is going on, there is always restriction. When election is going on, if it is not naming ceremony, you can reschedule whatever event you have. Even if it is a naming ceremony, you can do it in moderation. You reschedule to fit into the itinerary or the stipulated time. So that is what is expected. And it is also in a bid to ensure that we all discharge our duties, our social responsibilities, and nobody is denied that electoral franchise and value. So it is expected that Lagosians key into this arrangement, and that time is also understandable. But those that we want to hold their vigil, yes, if they can round off early enough, if they can round off as early as 3, relax till maybe 4:30. And just like you said, if their place is trackable distance, then they can still manage it. But heaven will not fall. If any church for now, suspend whatever vigil, because we are also expected to adhere to the stipulated rule of the nation. God himself will give a nod to that. So we need not to abuse this, and let's get the best of the election and the period. Yes, I am still on the nation, and the headline here says Akwa Ibom APC stakeholders reject automatic tickets for National Assembly members. Akwa Ibom APC stakeholders reject automatic tickets for NAS members. A group of stakeholders of all progressive Congress in Akwa Ibom has rejected the pronouncement by Governor Umar Eno to give automatic tickets to National Assembly members from the state. In a petition to President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday, stakeholders under the aegis of the concerned members of the APC said the governor's plan was not only undemocratic but negates the constitution of the party. The group warned that if the governor goes ahead with his plan, the APC in the state will erupt in crisis between legacy members and new members, adding that Tinubu must take steps to avert the impending situation. This is politics at its highest level, and I hope that will not pollute Akwa Ibom. One, the governor just defected to the All Progressive Congress. And I want to believe most of all these National Assembly members were with him in PDP and they moved together. It could be one of the backing they had. It could be one of the arrangements that, okay, you're moving with me and all of you are also returning for second term. If that is the negotiation, I'm afraid, how will the governor get out of this? He doesn't have any other alternative. He will have to or try to see it to manifestation. And that will definitely not go down well with the pioneer members or those they met in the All Progressive Congress. We have a lot of people too with ambitions.
Exactly.
So there will definitely be a clash of interest. And indirectly, in all states, the governor is also more or less the leading leader of his political party. And we should not also forget that the Senate president is also from that state, Godswill Akpabio, who is also the number 3 citizen of the nation. So I just hope the All Progressive Congress will be able to manage this potential crisis. Because when we continue to enlarge a particular house, the Yorubas will say, when the house is peaceful, that means the bastard there has not grown up. But in this situation, I'm afraid I just hope they manage the crisis and ensure that there's peace in ABC.
Yeah, they have to look for a way around it. Since they're all going for second term, and if they should meet people that also wants to run, they'll have to bring out the idea. So someone will have to step down for another person.
Yes, you see, that was why I said negotiation. In the first place, the governor was a member of the PDP. For him to have defected, he must have spoken with the power that be in APC. And under normal circumstances, when talking about democracy, you should give everybody an enabling environment, a level playing ground. Don't debar them from running. It's a matter of interest. Let the best person emerge, the best man for the job. But I'm afraid.
Okay, on the Vanguard, I have here, federal government secures $747 million loan for Lagos Calabar Highway construction. Federal government secures $747 million loan for Lagos Calabar Highway construction. The federal government has secured a $747 million loan to finance Phase 1, Section 1 of the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project, stretching from Victoria Island to Eleko Village. The Ministry of Finance announced the development on Wednesday, disclosing that the facility was arranged by Deutsche Bank, according to a statement by Director of Information and Public Relations, Mr. Mohammed Manga. The deal represents the largest syndicated road infrastructure loan in Nigerian history. The milestone signals growing global investor confidence in Nigeria's reform agenda and infrastructure development pipeline, the ministry stated. Now, securing this kind of loan for Lagos Calabar Highway construction, it's not too much. Or they want to make sure the road is good and better for motorists, or what? This kind of loan is too much. Who will pay?
You pay now, yeah. You pay, and people after you will also pay. This is Nigeria. You see, as much as we need a good infrastructure, the project is actually good.
Yeah, sure.
If well implemented, if properly executed. But I am not a fan of the country running into low. Yes, I know there is no way they can do this without loan, putting in consideration other things that the government is doing at the moment. But nevertheless, there are better ways to go about it. We need to be very, very careful when it comes to getting loan every now and then. Yes, anything worth doing at all is worth doing well. I strongly agree. But loan, I'm afraid, it is one reason why even successive governments will not perform, and they'll be blaming everything on the immediate past government. So the members of the cabinet should see how they can work around all these loan idea and try to gatekeep it. It is not even sounding palatable to the ears of Nigerians. That is not what they want to hear. That is not what they want to hear. Just like you said, we have a lot to China, we have a lot to other countries, but they are paying at our expense, and that is why we are not getting a necessary balance in some areas. But I hope the government will do something about it. And moving on with the nation, I have EFCC 6 law to criminalize unexplained wealth. EFCC 6 law to criminalize unexplained wealth. So if you make it as you're planning now, and you cannot justify your source of income, you should be expecting the EFCC to come for you. The Commission secures a conviction of 146 foreigners for financial crimes. Tinubu determined to put Nigeria on right track, says Ribadu. Those are riders. The story says the chairman of the EFCC, Olusegun, yesterday sought the backing of the National Assembly to legislate against unexplained wealth. He said Nigeria cannot win the anti-corruption war without the legal backing to hold public officers accountable for assets far beyond their legitimate ends. Olusegun spoke at the National Conference on Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance organized by the Public Account Committees of the Senate and House of Representatives in Abuja. This idea actually is good, and it's getting started with the right set of people. At least he was at the National Assembly talking to them there. If you get started with them, it will be 100%. Nigerians will applaud them. What everyone is after is to ensure that the same law that is applicable to Esther be applicable to Nado. No immunity to anyone. As long as they are found culpable, then the idea of all animals are equal, but some are more equal, should not be in this situation.
Okay, lastly, on the punch here, I have federal government committed to teacher training, raising education standard. Minister. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, on Wednesday declared that the federal government remains committed to improving teachers' recruitment, training, and motivation, describing educators as the cornerstone of any meaningful reform in Nigeria's education sector. Alausa also highlighted the ongoing revitalization of the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria and the new teacher internship and quality assurance framework as part of the government's effort to harmonize and raise teaching standards nationwide. The minister praised the administration of Sani for demonstrating strong political will and commitment to transforming education, pointing to key milestones such as a 40% reduction in tuition across state-owned tertiary institutions, renewed investment in Kaduna State. Okay, here the federal government is trying to improve on teachers' training. It is actually necessary. We really need it. It seems that recent I saw a link on their recruiting new teachers, and those that don't have the education certificate have to go through PGD. Okay. In Ifako, I saw them taking the exams, and most of them my friends was like, "What are you doing?" I said they're taking the PGD exam for teaching job. I'm like, "Okay, that's good." If they can actually invest in teachers, train teachers well, the education will be a good way. Yes, because now people see teachers as the poorest in the country. But they're actually supposed to be the most respected and, let's say, most end civil workers.
I agree with you. But do people really see them? Those that are civil servants, I think they are not the poorest, most especially in Lagos. They are doing well, even far better than a lot in private sectors. Because even if you look at it from even paying teachers as the government is doing, yes, there are schools that are paying bogus amount, but technically they know what the pupils and students are also parting with? Are they commiserating each other? No. For civil servants, teachers in Lagos, yes. It is not a bad livelihood for now, but it can always get better. It is a good thing to invest on teachers, because for those that are making laws at the National Assembly and living large, teachers taught them before they could get there. Those are the presidency. The states, yes, teachers taught them. So for teachers, they also need to justify this value that the government is adding to them, because we know a lot of teachers too, most especially at the public schools, that are very reluctant in discharge of their duties. We know some nonchalant ones too.
They don't even come to work. They just go to school, sign, and they're out.
So
students are.
So if we are saying the government should do this, we must also be willing to play our part. You must earn your income, not just getting it as if that the boss is making money or not. The servant or the steward will be getting his own salary. That should not be the case. And let me quickly take this last one from here too. The headline from The Nation says, demand for special seats for women meant to strengthen democracy. Demand for special seats for women meant to strengthen democracy. The First Lady, Senator Olusegun, who has said that granting special seats for the women in the legislature should not be seen as a form of charity, but as a way of strengthening the nation's democracy. Mrs. Tinubu spoke at an interactive dialogue session on the special seat bill for women at 2025 Open National Assembly Week organized by the House of Representatives. For me, this is a personal position anyway. I strongly disagree. Anybody that believes he or she is credible, like our generation, they will tell you gender equality. If truly they believe we are equal, let's go to the field. You are able-bodied, I am able-bodied. Both gender. You are educated, I am educated. Let's see who the community or the constituents we want to occupy a particular office. So seeking special position for women or special allocation, a particular number, for me, it is a big no. I don't know why the First Lady is doing this, but I won't blame her. She's also a woman. But nevertheless, give everybody level playing field. Let them go and test their minds. If you are credible, we have a lot of women in Lagos State that are doing well. They were not given on a platter of gold. So if we introduce this idea, a lot of women will be going through the back door. And that is why you see some women, they will abuse this grace.
Sure.
Believe me sincerely. They will abuse. I just don't want to use uncivilized words here. But a lot of women have lost their homes just because they want to occupy a political office. But if you're credible, you don't need to lose your home. Your husband must be supportive. But when there are special allocation, they will now lobby. Lobby who? Who is now giving it to who? And it will now be a game of trade. For that, you rub my back, I rub your back. Which shouldn't be. For me, it's a big